Hi everybody and welcome back. Today what we're going to do, we're going to make a dish called Matbucha. I was exposed to it by our neighbor that she's from Morocco. So I think one of the origin is in Morocco, North Africa. And it's a wonderful dish because it's a spicy dish, so it's almost like a spread. You make it with tomatoes and all the ingredients. I'll show you that in a second. But what's nice about it, you can really use it for a lot of different things, which I will tell you as I go along. So let's go right into it. What are the ingredients that we need for that? So what we need tomatoes that I put in hot water and peeled off the skins. A lot of garlic, which is the feature of the dish. Garlic, peppers. Here I have red and yellow. Some jalapenos or spicy peppers. Salt, chili peppers, hot paprika, sweet paprika, olive oil, and let's get started. So what I'm going to do, I already cut everything. I'm going to start to warm up the oil, and I'm going to do the peppers separately, and then we'll do the tomatoes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the peppers, just dice it and put it in a pan and slow cook it. Probably 40 minutes, something like that at the beginning. And then what we're going to do, we're going to do the same thing to the tomatoes, and I'm going to do it separately. So here's the red peppers goes in. Then I'm going to do the yellow peppers here. Just chop it. It's a lot, but you know, you can put as little or as much as you want. You don't have to put all that. I like that. Now you notice that the garlic, the way I did it, I sliced them because I think the flavors are much better that way, and it really enhanced the dish much better. But if you want, you can put much smaller pieces and chop it to much smaller pieces, and you could put a little less amount of garlic into it. So I'm trying just to do the authentic way, which is really you taste the garlic in this particular dish. As you know that a lot of time what I do, I put very little garlic in the dishes I use, just a flavor, but this time it's slightly different. So what we're going to do again is chopping the yellow peppers. Add that to the mix. In reality, what I do, I sweat them and roast them a little bit in the pan. Creating another layer of flavors to the peppers. Okay, now we're going to put the spicy jalapenos in there. Give it a stir on a low to medium heat, and slowly let it cook. It's probably going to be here for another 40 minutes, something like that. But meanwhile, I'm going to do in the next pan, put olive oil. And the truth is, this dish takes a lot of oil. I don't put nearly as much as you need to. And I'm going to put the garlic. And just let them roast a little bit here. And now we're going to start with the tomatoes. Now some people can do it seeded, remove the seed. Today I'll do it like most people. They just cut it and chop it. So that's what I'm going to do. And again, it's going to be cooked for, you know, about an hour and a half. By the time we finish, 2 hours. So just cut it to pieces. And then you cook it slowly. It eventually becomes almost like a paste. You'll see in the end when we do that. Put it already. So let's see. Now let's get the garlic a little bit toasted, so the flavors will go in. So while they do that, I can cut some more. And of course, this dish you can prepare in advance, and you can really use it when you have people coming over A lot of time I even use it on a crostini. You put it nicely on crostini, or believe it or not, I put it as a spread on sandwiches, and you can put, you know, whatever you want to put on a sandwich, but it gives you just something else to put on it. And if you're really into it, you can even use this for shakshuka. It's perfectly, will work well. And even you can make a version almost like Moroccan style fish with all the spices and the tomatoes, and you just put the fish in it. So this is kind of getting ready. I don't want it to get brown. I just wanted the flavors to come in. And now I'm going to put the tomatoes in there. I keep the salt and everything else for later. Let everything cook, and then we'll see how it goes about it. So it's almost done here. Now, generally speaking, I prefer to use the plum tomatoes, but you know, we're during the Corona time, that's what I had at home. So I'm using the tomatoes that I have at home, and it should work as good as the plum tomatoes. So if you want, you can easily use a can. I highly recommend it. If you use a can, use good quality tomatoes. I always use the one from Italy, from San Marzano. It really, the flavors are amazing, and it's worth it. As I said, it costs maybe $1 more or so, but it's worth it. And you're getting food that you really will enjoy. So almost done here. I'll show you what we're going to do. So put it here. You can see we have a lot of tomatoes, but everything going to be reduced. You'll see it in the end. So with that, lower the heat a little bit here. At least this one I just bring it up to high heat just a little bit, and then I will lower it. And let's cook for 45 minutes, and when we'll be back, I'll tell you what we're going to do next. Okay, so we're about 40 minutes, and we put the tomato sauce on the pan, and you cook it on a very low heat. Look at it. You can see that the liquid being reduced. We're not there yet. The other pan with the peppers and jalapenos and all that, actually I sauteed it only for 20 minutes because I felt it was already cooked enough. Now remember, when it comes to jalapenos, use as little or as much as you want. You can adjust the spice of the dish, as spicy or less spicy as you want. Okay, so at this point what I'm going to do, I'm going to take all the peppers that I sauteed, add them to this mix. And remember, I've not put any of the spices yet. So that's what we're going to do next. Okay? So at this point, I'm going to put very little salt. Okay? I'm going to take chili pepper. Now, trust me, this is small, but it's very spicy. So I crushed it and put it in here. We're going to put a little bit, now this one, don't be shy, a little bit of sweet paprika. It will give it also a nice color to the dish. So a little bit. And the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little, very little, of hot paprika. Maybe quarter of a teaspoon, because remember we already have a lot of different spices in it. And that's about it for now. What we're going to do, I'm going to mix it. And again, keep the heat on a very low, and we're going to let it cook for probably another hour, at least an hour. And I'll come back and I'll show you at the point that when everything is ready. But you can see it's already started to be a nice thickened. About 20 minutes later, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this tool to try and squash the vegetable a little bit, the peppers and the tomatoes, just so that it will be a little bit smaller bite pieces as well. And then, again, we're going to wait for another 40 minutes to an hour to see how it's coming along. Okay, it's been pretty much an hour, so you can come and see that the Matbucha salad is really becoming very thick and nice. I mean, if you could smell the smell of this dish, you have the smell of the garlic, the peppers, the tomatoes, and that's pretty much the way it's supposed to look like. I'm going to pull it off, but just to give you an idea of presentation that I do just before I take it off, I just want to test just a teeny bit. Perfect. Sometimes if you need to put a little more salt, this is the time to do it. So when you entertain what I do, I like to have a small board that I have some pita bread in it, some crostini in it, sometimes hummus, tahina, and I'm going just to show you what you could do. So you take a little of that, you can put it on, and you have yourself a wonderful crostini. I'm going to test it. Amazing. Fantastic.